right here on KBN TV from Zambia's capital city, Lusaka. With me, Innocent P. You can simply call me IP. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening on DSTV channel 279, Go TV channel 27, and Topside Decoder channel 102. And of course, remember, you can follow the program via our social media platforms. That's our Facebook page and also YouTube. We are equally live. Keep on sending those questions as well as clarifications on the big hour debate as we commence discussing matters of governance. Now, Zambia remains a country which is largely populated by the young people, and more oftenly these young people are given less coverage where media is concerned, as well as governance matters. When you look at also the aspect to deal with persons with disabilities, equally said to have been disadvantaged. The reason why the big hour debate this evening on KBN TV, we've found it fit to summon three vibrant young people here in the studio articulating matters of governance in Zambia. Allow me to introduce their names just for the sake of those that may want to know their full names. And of course, alternatively, you can read on the banners as the names as well as the organization they present speaks louder. Now, my speaker number one here in the studio, I have Susan Tembo representing the UPND, coming from the media committee in that regards. Of course, next to Madam Susan Tembo, we have Madam Mercy Namakao Silumesi representing the Tonse Alliance. And of course, next to her, we have Madam Comrade Nancy Wusiku Mpongo, representing the Socialist Party in her capacity as National Youth League training coordinator. And finally, we've got a Pan-African activist in the name of Comrade Dorcas Nachbona. Ladies, welcome to the program and good evening to all of you.
Thank you very much.
I hope you are well and ready for the conversation.
Yes, we're as ready as we can be.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Remember, you've got your mineral water. All of you, confirm with me before we start the conversation.
Yeah, we do.
Thank you. All right, so let me just go through a little bit of some rules just to guide you on how we're going to run this conversation this evening. First of all, I will ensure that I give each one of you at least 3 minutes to give your preamble to the people of Zambia in line with this conversation we have this evening. We will be looking at the constitutional amendment debate or proposal which has been put forward. And also, we shall be looking at the cyber security law and crimes law which has been enacted by the government of the UPND as well. Later on, we shall dive into another last aspect of the by-elections going on in various parts of the country at both parliamentary as well as the local government level. So, of course, later on, I will ask you, comrades, to ensure that if you want to interject your colleague, you do it with a lot of respect. Because remember, we are here not because we are smarter than the people watching the program. We've got the 20 million Zambians watching the program, and hence, they are more intelligent than all of us, if possible. So that's how we're going to run the program. And of course, remember, if you want to oppose to anything that you'd want to oppose, that has to be done within 2 minutes. For starters, your preamble, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. But as we get into the nitty-gritties of the conversation, I'll be giving each one of you 2 minutes to submit. You can oppose within that 2 minutes and also advance your ideology of your political party, how you intend to turn Zambia into a better country to live in. Is that clear?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Let's get into it. I will start with the ruling party. And allow me, ladies and gentlemen, and also the viewers out here, to call on Madam Susan Tembo, who is coming from the UPND Media Department, to describe the Zambia we live in today, and of course, how you think you have performed in the last 4 years of being in power. How would you describe the state of Zambia today, within 3 minutes?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. I think so far I would describe Zambia as a peaceful country that is accompanied by sanity, the rule of law is applied, there is peace in our country.
Right.
I wouldn't describe it as absolute peace.
Right.
Yeah, because peace varies in terms of definition depending on the various aspects.
Right.
So I would say, as a European government, we've done what we promised the people of Zambia
Right.
prior to the 2021 elections. We promised free education.
Right.
We promised a peaceful nation. The first thing that our president did when we attained power, he said no to Kadarism. Okay? And there was peace. Just like in the Bible, when Jesus was commanding, was making, when God was creating the earth, he said, let there be water, land. The first thing that our president did was to bring sanity.
Right.
He said, no Kadarism.
Right.
And what did we do as young people? As his supporters, we distanced ourselves from violence. That is the first critical thing that our president did.
Right.
Then afterwards, he had promised free education. He brought it. And now our people are enjoying free education. Okay? We faced a drought. What is happening? Of course, it wasn't a stable period,
Right.
but people managed to survive in that period of drought. Okay? So currently I would say, as it stands, as the UPND government, we've done enough
Right.
in terms of bringing sanity in our country and also managing the crisis that we faced.
Right.
For example, the drought period. So we've done enough, and regardless, we brought in the issues of social cash transfer, okay, food for work, that our Zambian people enjoyed that period of drought. And now we have, we would anticipate we have bumper harvest, because the president advocated that people should invest into farming. And the Zambian people accepted that. They did farming, and now we anticipate bumper harvest.
Right.
Okay, so as UPND government, we've done what we promised the people of Zambia.
Right.
We agree the issues of energy, yeah, the least high cost of living, we agree to that, yeah, which the government is trying by all means to work around that. It's something that we never saw coming. Okay, nobody expected there was gonna be drought. Okay, so talking of the issues of a high cost of living, it is due to what we went through. Drought, we had no enough rainfall.
Right.
And secondly, it also affected the energy sector.
Right.
Okay, we have a load shedding right now as I'm speaking. So all those were due to the drought. And what did the president do? Encouraged people to invest, to go the solar way. And also engaging, he is engaging with our friends from from other countries, for example China, to help us in investing in solar energy, so that we can also we can cater as in this period we can we can tackle the issue of energy.
Right.
So as it stands, I feel the UPND government has done enough, regardless of the challenges that we're facing.
All right.
Yeah.
Just hold on there. Thank you so much, Madam Susan Tembo from the UPND. We will now call upon, ladies and gentlemen, the viewers out here, of course, ladies in the studio. We will now call upon Madam Namakao Anams from the Tonsi Alliance. Your 3 minutes starts now. What is your description about the Zambia we live in today and the state of Zambia in short?
Thank you, IP, and good evening to the viewers. Of course, I want to thank my Tonsi National Youth Chairman for actually according me this opportunity to allow me to come and be able to speak to our good people of Zambia. The UPND, personally, my opinion would be that we feel like we are under siege. Okay, we are under siege. The nation has been captured with a sense of fear. I'm always, astonished when I hear the UPND speak about how Zambia is at peace, and I'm thinking, how did I miss this war? How was there war in Zambia, and I clearly missed the war? Personally, I would say I joined politics in March 2021.
Right.
In fact, it was just like falling into something you had actually forgotten that you can actually have interest in for years. And so before 2021 March, I was just an ordinary person participating ordinarily like everybody else. Right. And I'm still thinking, I never saw war. Yes, I did see cadres clashing. In fact, what made me even change my political perspective to now see PF then as a party I could follow was because for the first time, because all I heard on social media was that the PF were these animals who was attacking everybody, okay? And then I'm in Chawama and I'm working professionally there, and all I know is the PF are the bad guys and the attackers and everything. Then I've been living with the PF there, it's all calm. And Chawama is like a stronghold. And then one day, there's a ECO coming, I think that was 2018, and I see the PF making their usual excited moves, and they were passing through the roads in Chawama, preparing for ECO to come. And I just saw everybody start rushing back, stones being held, and before long I saw UPND clad cadres coming after them with stones and even pangas. Of course, the PF ran back, and then they reorganized themselves, and the battle was different now. They're chasing the other group. That changed my mindset. I realized social media, for those who were mostly in offices and on social media, or maybe they were found in Soweto and certain town areas, they saw a lot of this. But this was not what was happening every day. There was no law, there was no war in Zambia. Zambia was fairly at peace. We had conflict between cadres. And the thought that the UPNT continuously sells the ideology that we now have peace. I'll tell you, the greatest peace that Zambia needs is a full stomach in the citizens. The greatest peace that we need as Zambians is our freedom to express ourselves without fear. Here where I am, I'm extremely aware and trying to be cautious that I don't say what would get me into cyber. You see, everybody knows that we have to be extremely cautious with what we say and how we say. And we're talking about a government that we had people like Bruce Kanema, we had people like the president himself, President HH in opposition, we had people like Trevor Mwinde. They would openly speak with strength and threaten whoever they thought that threatened, or calling on anyone the way they felt like saying things. But we today have to be extremely cautious. So I'm wondering, where is the peace that they're singing about? Because currently, I'm not at peace. I do a lot of TikTok. I have to be cautious and re-watch what I'm doing and ask myself, is there cyber there? There is no peace. If I feel upset, like what happened in Lumezi, where we have what we saw happen after the filing in of our candidates, there was violence there, instigated by the UPND, then coming to cry the loudest on TV because they have access to ZNBC and say, we were attacked first. And yet the initial reports were that no, actually the PF were told by the police to move away from their camp because it was too close to the UPND camp. And so when they realized, but we have a few things we need to pick, we just can't abandon our things. That's how the violence erupted. So clearly, the UPND are not peaceful. And I want to be the first person to say, I personally am a victim of UPND violence. Okay? In Kawambwa, I was there for the by-election, and firsthand, the UPND sent droves of cadres different categories of cadres, I would say. They had the dignified cadres, okay? They were big guys, some of them, imposing, but those were diplomatic, friendly, and respectful.
I want you to conclude. Your 3 minutes is almost...
But they also had cadres who were the violent ones, the ones who lifted me up like I was not a human being, threw me on the ground, grabbed my phone while kicking me, and hit me with a big log. So I don't know which peaceful cadres she's talking about. And when I went to report to the police, to date, despite pointing out these are the guys in this car, they've never been captured. There is no rule of law. There is no peace, especially because we are very hungry.
Right.
And in terms of load shedding, I don't even want to go there. It's called power shutdown.
Thank you so much. We'll still come back to that, Madam Mercy Nams. We appreciate you as well. All right, dear viewers, allow me to now call upon the Socialist Party representative in the name of Comrade Nancy Wusiko.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Your 3 minutes begins now. How would you describe Zambia's governance today? Where are we?
I think from where we come from and where we are, knowing very well that I belong to an opposition political party, and knowing very well that we have the cyber law that might misquote me when I say some certain words here, I would peacefully say that Zambia is at war, because war is not really the necessity or the absence of peace, but war is when the people are starving. The issue my comrade or my colleague over there spoke on the issue of free education. We'll look at how free is this education. Is this free education for all, or is it a free, good quality education where the facilities are safe for people to go to, where we have a pupil teacher ratio of 1,000 pupils, one teacher in a classroom. So looking at the state that we're in with the UPND regime, I would say I am not safe, and we are not safe as Zambians, because we are not well represented either in parliament, either as a nation or as a country at large. I'll cite a few examples. For example, we tried to host a free or a peaceful march from town center to the Freedom Statue, where we as the Socialist Party Youth League were not granted permission, but rather what we saw was the troops of police standing from Mandevo constituency, because that's where we said we're going to start from, up to the Freedom Statue. And we had to go in hideout because we were scared of being battery beaten. And we all know where these laws come from. Each and every government that comes into power, every institution works with the government of the day. And that is a fact. That is how Zambia is. Now, I belong to a political party which is a peaceful political party that wants to bring sanity in the country. Why do I say so? This is because the Socialist Party's ideology simply states that we must have a humanitarian solidarity, just and fair society for all. We are a socialist party that believes in justice, equity, and peace, where we have our core values and our principles that are solidarity, humility, equality, and so more. And then we are anchored on active participation, collective decision making, and transparency, which would definitely give a very good example to people to say we are the right people for the time 2026. It's so sad to hear that my colleague here has been a victim of violence, her being female and her being in opposition, where the UPND say that they do not have cadres out there that are fighting. I think, not that I'm thinking, but I know that there are cadres there that are vicious, that would definitely fight you today until you die. Apologies for using such words, but that's just a fact. Let's call a spade a spade. The Lumezi by-elections are not even fair at all. They've just started. It's just an introduction of it. But when we look at the violence and the fightings that are happening there, who are the people causing this violence? And once they cause them, the thing is that they'll run straight to the police and claim to be victims, while they're the perpetrators of this violence. When we look at the previous by-elections that we've had, what is it that they did? I would speak to a testimony where I've seen my comrades being part of being battery beaten and being arrested after being beaten by the UPND guys. Why? Because they feel they're in power. Because they feel they hold the autonomy authority to play foul play, let me say so. And which is not right. which is something that I would disagree with, which is something that I as a youth, or I as a leader, or I as a person who comes from a community that deserves sanity and peace would disagree with.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate for submission. Allow me to call upon Comrade Dorcas. They are coming from the Pan-Africanism movement, or Pan-African activists. How would you describe Zambia's governance today?
Well, I think as a Pan-African, I wouldn't say that I'm pleased in any way with the government of the day, because as a Pan-African, everything that they're doing, it seems to be in line with the oppressors that we as Pan-Africans do not agree with. So what everyone has been saying here, I've been hearing first from the UPND representative. I heard her talk about social cash transfer, which is, I've always found this very offensive, because I think this should be like about 250 kwacha or something, if I'm not mistaken, per month, which is being given to people. If I'm wrong, please, you can correct me. But from what I researched, it's 250 kwacha that's been given to the people per month. And this is what they are saying, that, we are helping people, we are feeding people. And when the same people are the ones that are saying that the food basket for one family, and that's a family of 5, is equivalent to 6,000 kwacha. And I think this is information that was released, I think maybe in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. If I am wrong, please correct me. I could be wrong. So now, what I don't understand is when you divide 6,000 kwacha with a family of 5 people, it doesn't bring you anywhere near 250 kwacha per month for someone to survive on. And this is something that you will pat yourself on the back and say that we have done this. Because even during colonization, this is what was happening to our people, right? Like, the Africans were given a specific target of saying, if you get a certain level of education and you become you can speak English, we'll give you a job like a teacher, a secretary, those kind of things. And those are the limitations that were put on the people then, and we are seeing them still being perpetuated by today's government. And this is not just unique with UPND, no. It is something that has been going on since the day of, I'm sorry to say this, I might offend people, but this has been going on since the days of our freedom fighters, UNIP. So I would not really say that, UPND right now is I'm blaming UPND and I want to put this on UPND. I won't do that, because as a Pan-African, I know that this is a system in place that UPND found. So I do not have a problem with UPND per se. I have a problem with the system that UPND got into as well. So even when you talk about, let's say, the sanity in itself, you talk about the free education, all of this, for example, let me go to the sanity of talking about these what do you call them? These cadres, right? It would be very strange for cadres not to fight each other as a Pan-African, because what I know is when people are fighting for something that they believe in, it ends there. You know what I mean? So I think if that's something that you're praising yourself on and saying, we have brought peace, it seems you don't even believe that much in your ideology anyway, because you don't even want to fight for it. Because when you look at PF, this is why I feel like this was a wrong strategy, maybe, for PF, which got them deselected, it got them thrown out. But they always stood with their cadres. And they always say to be like, listen guys, these cadres are here for us, and also us the people, we are here for them. They are Zambians like we are, and we are also Zambians like they are, right? So but then with the UPND government, they're hiding behind the shadows of how the colonizers did it. They are hiding and saying, no, we don't have cadreism, but we know, because you have ideologies that people have to defend. People have to be there they will be there. You know what I mean? So I think what they're doing is they are lying in front of the people, and I might be misquoted, but so we can't really say that there is sanity if people are fighting. First of all, people are fighting for an ideology, which I do second, and then also there are people who are complaining on the other side, and they're also defending themselves on the other side. It is politics anyway. So if you get into politics and you don't expect to receive a slap here and there, I don't know if really you will go far, but that's just how I see it. Because even as a Pan-African right now, for example, with what's happening in Burkina Faso that everyone is praising, is still in the same way, still in the same lines of saying people fight for ideologies that they believe in at the end of the day.
Right.
So that's something that we need to, I think, personally, I've come to terms with.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Dorcas there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm seeing hands there. All right, thank you so much. I will allow you, Madam Tembo, to proceed with your interjection or perhaps your correction as you wish, but that has to be done within 2 minutes now. As I also pushed in this critical question, we have got the proposed constitutional amendment right now. That's a hot debate going on in the country. The Gazette has already been released. Some of you might have looked at it. Simply put, what is your position and why do you think the constitution must be amended now, and why should this process be so urgent? You can, of course, attend to what you wanted to attend to, either from Madam Nams or Madam Nancy rather, as well as Dorcas, and then you proceed.
Okay, I wanted to respond to the sessions that
right.
when they started. First of all, I will tell you, probably used a wrong term. I'll tell you, cadreism. We have cadres, we have supporters. Cadres are supporters of a political party, of course. And so, cadreism, of course, will say it's there, but then there's no violence. Unlike in the PF regime, where a number of our people died, a number of our people were injured. Yeah. She just stated that she was, harassed.
Yeah.
So I would like to know if she reported to the police, because the government of UPND stand on the rules of law. Okay, it's a government, it's a listening government. So did she report that to the police? Because as far as I'm concerned, we as a government, we attend to such kinds of issues.
Right.
Okay, we advocate for the rule of law. So if she reported to the police, and what is it that the police did?
Right.
Okay. And secondly, we're talking about peace. Moderator, I'll tell you. Peace is categorized in two,
Right.
okay, categories: positive peace and negative peace. Okay. When we talk about negative peace, we are talking about what she stated. Okay.
Right.
You spoke about hunger, the causes of conflicts. What we call negative peace. Okay, people are hungry and they're protesting. Have we ever seen that in this ruling government? The answer probably is no. Have we seen people, my colleagues, have we seen people are protesting over hunger?
That's the question.
You've seen people protesting over hunger?
How do you protest when you're hungry? That's the question.
Have you seen people, the question is, have you seen people
I
protesting
don't think
over
I
hunger?
should respond to a question that
Fine, you can't respond, meaning you don't know the
Yes.
answer. So let me tell you,
I would say
positive
people- sorry,
peace,
can I-
let me explain. Positive peace, okay? Negative peace is the root cause of conflict. And in my preamble, I stated, of course we agree there was drought and the cost of living is high. Okay? There is that problem, we agree, and the government is working around those areas. Secondly, talking of negative peace, positive peace is absence, the absence of war. Okay? The absence of war. People are not fighting. But this time around, we have only the negative peace, okay, which is likely to be the cause of conflict, such as hunger and also the issues of energy,
Right.
okay, load shedding. But then in PF, we had seen people being violated, fought, people died, we saw gunshots, we saw bloodshed. But this time around, there's no such kind of a thing. So how would a woman, born of a woman, okay, with the nurturing heart, stand before the media and state that we had peace even in PF and we do not have peace right now? Okay? It's so disheartening. It is breaking. As women, we should be there to say the truth because we're trusted. And that is why, coming back to your question, that is why even the Constitution right now is advocating for women participation. It's advocating for youth participation. It's advocating for people with disabilities to be involved in governance. Because the president, who is born of a woman, believes that women, young people, people living with disabilities should add a voice to the governance of today.
Right.
And now we are here, people are saying no, we had no peace, no, there was violence, I was violated. Did you report that to the police? And what did the police say? Okay?
Right.
So back to the question that you stated, you asked about
the proposed constitution.
The proposed constitution.
Yeah.
For me, as a young person in governance, I welcome it.
Apologies,
because this.
Am I allowed to interject?
Okay, just hold on. I will compensate your time. You can interject. Go ahead, please.
Mine is a question. For where I come from is a Komboni area. I come from Kwamande, where people really need to. No, I understand you. So, can you please, in simple terms, clarify what you mean by negative peace and positive peace? Because at this moment I might feel a bit lost. You asked a question where I feel you were a little bit rude at some point when you were responding to it, saying you don't know the answer, so don't respond. Unfortunately,
I'd also like to interject.
Yes, and unfortunately, I believe if somebody is hungry, they do not have the strength to stand out there and speak. When you are hungry, you can't go out there and dance.
Right.
When you're hungry, you can't go there and do
Thank you so much. That was basically a question. So allow her to proceed.
If you
want to add on, I'll give you
no problem.
Give her time.
For me, what she means by negative peace, positive peace, a woman born of a woman, I think those are not terms that we should use.
Born of woman.
And because you earlier on said we're here to debate and discipline has to be applied.
And I maintain that.
There are certain terms that we feel that, on a personal capacity, I feel should be avoided. So I don't know, what does she mean by negative peace, positive peace? In simple terms, maybe I'm lost.
All right.
Can I also interject? I wanted to speak because she's asked a very direct issue.
Yeah.
Number one, I wasn't harassed. And number two, my blood did flow. So I don't know if my blood doesn't qualify.
I'm coming to you. I would rather you wait for your time. You're going to answer all that.
Okay.
Yeah. So just hold on. I'll still come back to you, Dorcas. Just hold on your fire there. Just proceed as you respond to her questions, and proceed and begin to conclude in attending to my question. Comrades, let me remind you once again. Let us be specific and do not waste much of your time in addressing matters that are not from my script. My question is, what is your position about the proposed constitutional amendment as we move on? You can respond, but within the limited time given to you. Proceed, Madam Dorcas.
I'm not Dorcas, sorry.
Madam Tembo, sorry.
Okay, so I should respond to her?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I said positive peace and negative peace. So, tikakamba positive peace. Tikamba peace ija yamene ikozinga. I'm trying to use local language. Ndeo mukomboni bantu balina njala bamenyana, bantu balina njala, then they opt to go a step ahead by protesting. Okay, those things that cause conflicts are what we call positive peace. All right, and then when you talk about negative peace, this is peace that is accompanied by war. Okay, meaning people start fighting, exchanging knuckles.
Right.
That is negative peace, meaning ichafika pachimake bantu banje because of hunger, because of various things, they start fighting.
Right.
That's what I meant. Okay, positive and negative peace.
Thank you so much. You may proceed.
There's no absolute peace.
All right, you may proceed now to my question.
Okay.
And then begin to conclude.
Yeah, so to your question, you asked about my take on the constitutional amendment. Yeah, it's a, the Constitution is a book that governs a nation.
Right.
Okay, just like the Bible on Christianity, just like I'm a psychologist, just like the DSM-5 currently for us psychologists. Okay, that stipulates rules and laws of a nation.
Right.
Okay, so for me, the constitutional amendment is a welcome move, because it's giving a mandate to young people to put their voices in the governance of a nation, and also women and people living with disabilities. Okay, the Constitution is proposing for proportional representation. Women are given 20, youths 20, people living with disabilities 3, which I'm not okay with. Okay, because I'm a Zambian, regardless of being a politically affiliated person. I'm a Zambian, which the 3% is not okay with me. If my fellow women here would agree, if it's possible that we can get the 5 from us women and young people to add it to our fellows who are living with disabilities, so that they can also have equal representation, because 3%, quite alright, is discriminatory. Okay, they can't have a 3. What is so special about us young people and women that we can have 20 and they have 3? Okay, so I'm calling upon our fellow young people and women to also, if they need to make submissions, then there should be submissions that will benefit also people living with disabilities, so that they can have at least an equal number to ours, if not something closer to the numbers that have been given.
All right, beautiful.
Okay? And secondly,
as you conclude.
As I conclude, a democratic country that do not have equal representation or a voice from all sectors of life, then it's democracy in blankets. It's not absolute. Okay, quite alright, we can't have absolute, but at least this constitution is calling upon young people to participate, is calling upon women to participate, people living with disabilities to participate.
Right.
So for me, it's a welcome, it's a good move. And talking of the president, yes, the president has got a mandate to nominate 8, currently to nominate 8 parliamentarians, okay, which is a good thing. It is based on his discretion as the president of the nation. He's got those powers to nominate, okay, and nomination is based on his choices. Okay, nobody can say, no, Mr. President, you can't nominate this group. You have to. No, nobody. It's upon his discretion. Okay, so that is why, as a leader who believes in democracy and cares for the voices and cares for the people of Zambia, said, no, I think the best we can do is to bring in the mixed proportional representation. And what do I mean by mixed proportional representation? Meaning people based on their votes, political parties based on the votes that they get, okay, they'll be able to select, okay, depending on the number that is underrepresented.
Right.
In parliament, they'll be able to select their own people into parliament.
All right, thank you so much. I'll still come back to you, Madam Tembo. Let's invite Madam Namakao Nams, your take from Tonse. Why is the constitutional amendment process, why should it be urgent at the moment? And if no, what is the justification why we shouldn't amend the constitution now?
Okay, just to get out of the way that issue about the violence, I did report to the police, and we did show them who the perpetrators were, and nothing has been done to date. And I know who some of the people who attacked me, but I can't even do anything about it. I'm waiting for after 2026. We'll definitely get our justice. Now, the constitution making process is not a group or clique of individuals program. The constitutional making process is a people process, and it can never be economical. I've heard the UPND speaking about how they're trying to be economical with the constitution making process. And yet within there, they're increasing parliamentarians. When has it ever been cheap to have parliamentarians in large numbers? Never. So if having more parliamentarians is affordable, then the process must be correct. The dishonesty in the UPND is what exhausts some of us. I'm so exhausted by the amount of dishonesty, and inconsistency, and lack of integrity that we see in the UPND. And on one front, they want to come out like they know what they're saying. I always say this on their pages, I comment, I say, just because you're saying something, it doesn't mean it's true. That just because you're saying something, it doesn't mean you're going to convince anybody. We are grown-ups in Zambia, we are learned people in Zambia, and you saying something as a UPND, trying to speak to us, talk down to us like children, to tell us how this constitutional amending process is necessary. It's not true. Number one, we have pressing issues in this nation. And the fact that the constitutional making process did not start the right way, that's where our offense is. That's where the question mark is. Why didn't this program start the way it's supposed to? It's enshrined on how this constitutional making process must be done. If you remember in 2022, as early 2022 or probably 2021, Honorable Rafa Nagachinda for the Patriotic Front, our SG, he did mention that they are planning to amend the constitution, the UPND. And the UPND came out very strongly and said, we are not planning to amend the constitution. So how do we come in 2025 and I hear someone saying, we have agreed? You and who? The dishonesty in that statement to say we have agreed. When you agree with your colleagues, it doesn't mean the country has agreed. So the fact that the process was not properly started, we can never support it.
But the process is still in debate, Mr. Moderator. We're still debating. So why is that argument based on? Right. Because it's still into debate. People are still debating about the constitution. So why are you saying we have not agreed? You can still make submissions. And moreover, majority of that, the things that are in the Bill 7 of the Constitution, of the amended Gazette, Government Gazette, are the things that were in Bill 10. So, if you say we have not agreed, who? Is it the PF? Because this Constitution is...
listening to yourself.
Excuse me. This Constitution is not made... For the UPND is not for the Tonse, it's not for the...
Hold on, Nams, I wanted to ask a question, then I'll come back to you.
The constitution is for the Zambian people. So if you say we have not agreed, who? Okay?
Right.
So it doesn't, this is something that is still under debate.
Right.
Okay, so we can't say we are finalized. If she needs to make submissions, she should make submissions based on what is on the constitution. If something that is not okay, she should make submissions.
All right.
Like I stated, for me, my submissions is the number of people living with disabilities, which is three should be increased so that we can have a fair constitution.
Thank you so much, Madam Tembo.
So what is
allow her to respond now. You've asked a question. Allow her to respond as you proceed, Madam Namakao.
You cannot jump grade 1 and find yourself in grade 7. And then people tell you,
at which point did somebody jump to grade 7?
All right, just hold on, Madam Tembo. Allow her to proceed now.
All the time. So
hold on there.
But we need to know at which point did somebody jump from grade 1 to grade 7.
She's actually explaining, so permit her to explain, then I will give you your own time. Don't worry. Just take note of the burning issues, then I will give you time.
Sure.
Proceed.
Explain.
Okay, so the UPND skipped the most important process of the constitution making process. In as much as government may feel the need to start the process, they must, before even telling us about a time frame on how they want to do what they want to do, they must first ask the people. And I want to remind you, when you were in opposition, UPND always said it's Zambians against the PF. And I always said this mindset of the UPND to act like the Patriotic Front are not Zambians is wrong. And today she's again saying this is for the Zambian people and not for Tonse. As Tonse, as PF, we are Zambians. I want to say what the UPND president then and now president of the Republic used to say. He said, this is our country. This is our land. It still remains my country. Being Tonse, being PF, this is my land. This process requires my attention. And when I say that I am concerned with how it has started, because you first denied that you're not doing it, and then you start doing it, You lack integrity, you lack consistency, you lack credibility, and no accountability. And I have a question. Such a grouping, can they provide Zambians with a document that is really people-centered? Or is it going to be about them? So this amendment, quite all right, as opposition, we know the actual intentions. But even if we take away the political aspect and speak about it, even those neutralists are also saying, let's not do this. This is not the time for this. What's the rush? The same president today, President Hakainde Hichilema, is the president that in opposition said, we have adequate laws and we have enough laws in this constitution to have women,
just hold on. Madam Tembo, just hold on there. I'll come back to take note of her submission. Let her conclude. Begin to conclude.
Okay, so
maybe also answer my question. When is the best time to enact or to amend the constitution? Because you hinted that.
When it is a people-driven constitution. It is not for the ruling government to wake up and decide. And what I'll tell you, the government did not just wake up. Honorable Nakachinda was right when he said in 2022 that they're planning to amend the constitution, which the UPND denied.
But
in
that is what we promised.
they again denied that they were not amending the constitution. And then today they're actually amending it. They have said they're giving themselves 4 months.
Right.
That 4 months given by who? And trying to convince us like babies to say we are trying to be economical. There is nothing economical about the constitutional making process because we want a document that will survive the taste of time.
Right.
This
I want you to conclude.
So in conclusion, I'll tell you, as long as the document is not people driven, it can never be an acceptable document to the people of Zambia. And like they said Butane was bad. Today they want to compare themselves to Butane. It's the same. Lack of integrity, lack of consistency, lack of credibility. That disqualifies the UPND to be a government to be entrusted to amend the highest law of the land.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Namakau from the Tonse Alliance. Ladies and gentlemen, or rather the viewers out here, of course, ladies in the studio, permit me, we are going to watch a few videos in this regard so to understand the voices from other leaders out there in what they are talking about in line with the constitution. So director, please prepare those two clips which I will later invite. But for now, allow me to invite Madam Wusiku coming from the Socialist Party. What is your take? Does Zambia needs a new constitution, or do we need to amend the constitution?
First and foremost, I'll say it is not a necessity.
Right.
And we still need more time, and we can't do with the amendment of the constitution.
How much time do we need?
Don't worry, I'll get to that.
Right.
Not being petty, but being honest now. My colleague from the UPND, of course they are the people that are ruling us, said UPND is not for the SP, UPND is not for the UKA, neither is a what. But I will correct you because
I say the constitution.
They should replay.
Not to correct
tomorrow.
you, I said the constitution is not for the
I
UPND,
was
is not
born
for
in
the PM.
Zambia. I'm proudly Zambian. So every document that is put up front that will say it speaks for the people, I am equally affected or infected. So when we come to the issue of amending the constitution, having read and seen some of the acts that are in the constitution, I feel I am misrepresented, just like the way you feel the persons with disabilities are misrepresented. The women level being 20 or something like that is misrepresented. It is not a necessity now. It wasn't a necessity during the Patriotic Front. Right. It is not a necessity now. It is not a necessity tomorrow. But rather they should face at the economic challenges that we're having or facing as a country. Let them channel their energy into building a very safe state or a very safe country for the people. What do I mean? If they failed to indeed put a lot of women in parliament today, because she said the president has the right to, what did you say, you can repeat yourself?
Nominate.
Yes, to nominate who should be part of the government, who should help lead or rule. And it is his duty actually to do so. Why haven't they done that since their elections? Why do they think or feel that if they amend the constitution, then we women or we as youths will be well represented now? Why should it be now? Why did you fail to do it in the beginning? I think the amending or the amendment of the constitution should be put aside, or rather be thrown out of debate. And on the issue of making submission, I think my colleague over here made her submission. based on what she knows, and based on the facts that she has seen, that it is not a necessity at home. It is not a necessity for her. It is not a necessity for the Zambian people that we speak for. When we check out the sensitization program, how has it been? How has it gone? Have they reached the rural areas? Yes, we've got members of parliament that come from different constituencies, that come from rural areas, that come from urban areas. But what is it that they have done to sensitize the people that are coming from rural areas? Let's speak about the people with disabilities, the PWDs. We've got the blind. Is it in Braille? Have they brought that community to say, this is the constitution that we want to amend, take part in this, read this, see this through? Have they brought interpreters that are going to interpret to the deaf? Because it is their duty. They are also citizens. They are also people of this country. So why rush now? When we Zambians have said no. I am a proud Zambian, and I equally say no to the
When you as a Zambian, you said no, we Zambian.
I would say we, because it is a lot. I'm not the only one saying no here. My colleague here says
because
no.
you're OPF.
I'm not patriotic.
You're all opposing.
from
You're all
Socialist
opposition.
Party.
If anything, I would recommend you not
front.
to be opposition, but recommend us, because this is a constitution
Why
that is
should I
going to
recommend a
benefit
government
you
that
as a
does
young
not
person.
represent me?
I wonder our
Right.
parents.
Yeah, it does not
I will
represent
learn our
you.
parents.
It does not represent you, and it's
I think we should
advocating
use
for your
order with what
representation.
All right,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
hold
I will
on.
pose a
Just hold on,
question.
Madam Tembo.
No, Mr. Moderator.
Yes.
She's saying it's a government that is not representing her.
It is
And now
not
the constitution
Okay, just hold on,
is
Madam
saying
Isigo. Let her finish, then I'll come back to you. I'll compensate your time. Don't worry. I will compensate.
Is being
Okay.
I will compensate your time.
being emotional.
Allow
So the
to
question
speak.
is number maybe but then
Hold on.
150
Ladies, hold on.
154
Ladies, hold on.
We've got
Hold on, ladies.
159.
Hold on.
Yes.
Dorcas, hold on. I'll come back to you. Hold on there.
Manje mwamene omo hold on ko nifuna kwamba ko something.
Let
Mwamene
her
omo
share her.
156. Why mwa UPND simusta advance bafana kugwera kumwamba? Azazimai mwamene muja muri mukati mwanu muzibazigwera kumwamba abafana ndifuna kamali ngamba example.
4 years down the line.
Mwaziba not even 4 years 20 years abantu wenze kufuna chalo chikuti bachiruling wenze kuchifuna ngo chivaiba but mu 20 years tirangizani example mu mwana ukamba kuti azimaya ali kusogolo antu ampofa ali kusogolo tifuna tione by example because singavuta kuti vomere chepe hapo singavuta one day because it's an example but even a president watu sinofana wananga la 20 years baka wafikiza 60 years wango prikishitelo ja mpando but ukaenda kunchito kuja kuzesco I think kuli retirement age day nisinga 55 kaya kumanchito yambe ya office kuna retirement age but for some reason smoke ambapo hivyo ma politicians okamba kuti ukankala nkote chibichosepo that's why makamba once ma politicians ni waboza once mabwera chabe once watatu mulira kuna ma political party mabwera nayo mabwera bena vyongo kuti mane mutiname boza ise mutisokoneze because them machita mumbo zati yayi tifuna kuchani so tuna kutani so choga chongambika mungo tunga as Pan-Africanist we say we need to be for the people is that we need a constitution that's for the people. So this constitution all together ifunika overhaul bana ngo shalelo mabwera benango mwangamba mpanga matunga because amani pe palangiza yo chinjako chako dependa kufuna kuti manje ubise waenda kwa kuwina ngo mabwera tina
Hold on, can we take a minute?
kuvalika abantu notibe kufuna boyika ndalama tilibena ndalama muno muchalo ndifuna makamba wa boma tikulibena ndalama but izo ndalama mfuna mzitenge so kuti mwamba kuika ndalama kujesa abantu i250 mapasa abantu mwishte increase ikapena ni chano emele cash transfer emele mapasa mwishte increase ma salaries ya abantu mwachite increase but say mfuna mchose ndalama zamene tiribe zapankongole mwampoeka kuli university bifunika bibena nchito mwamene musogole mwanu muja tsontereni bakazi tsontereni bampofu tsontereni bana.
All right, thank you so much for that. Hold on, can we just calm down all of us? All right.
Hawa madam kuja kaisofu na kutaka kama
Dorcas,
ngali
just hold
wanao
on.
sipioneka bwino.
No, she has a right to speak because our comrade there.
So nega sisi
doesn't want to listen to what we
sipioneka bwino ife batula tira 2 minutes tingo embekeza.
So
Forge ahead.
Don't worry, I'm gonna give it enough time, all of you. Okay, I'm here to favor everybody. All right, take a sip of water.
Thank you.
You can sip some water as well. You can bring some water for starters.
I don't even know which one is
this one is yours.
This is mine.
Ma'ams, you can sip some water there. Madam Tembo, have some water for a minute. Please do it.
No,
At least I need to guide you what to do. If you have to drink water, you have to do it. Drink some water.
Please. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, dear viewers. We are having the big hour debate right here on KBN TV from Zambia's capital city, Lusaka. With me, IP, of course, discussing a number of issues. Now we get into another segment. Ladies, let me guide once again. Let us remain calm. I did mention earlier on that for me, I wouldn't want to turn my show into a battleground. That will not do. Believe me, I've got the powers to end the show immediately. So don't raise your names here. Don't.
Apologies.
Emotions. Okay. Right, so you may conclude, Madam. Madam Tembo, I'll come back to you, don't worry.
Sure,
Yeah, just collect all the concerns and later on I'll compensate your time. You can conclude.
All right. In my conclusion, I would say I strongly say no to the amendment of the Constitution because it does not represent the majority of women, it does not represent the majority of the youth, it does not represent the majority of the PWD, which are our people living with disabilities. So it is not a necessity at all. It is something that we should not even look at as it is right now, because we need to look at the problems that the Zambian people are facing. What are the challenges that we're facing as Zambians? And I will still strongly say I am not well represented by the UPND government. As a youth and as a female. And I have a right, because I am a youth and I am a Zambian, I have a right to say no to what I do not agree with. Not on the basis that I am SP, but on the fact that I was born Zambian and I have my rights. And no one should come and tell me, no, we are representing you very well, and try to justify their wrongs. No.
Thank you so much, Madam Wosiko from the Socialist Party. Madam Dorcas, I'll give you 1 minute 30 seconds now because you went into someone's time. Do we need the new constitution? Does Zambia needs to amend the constitution as it is right now?
Okay, first of all, let me apologize for this I think tempo nzabwera chitamunga ningwembekeza kuti nikambe niyo nafuti ibwera futi kumbuyo tibwera kumbuyo but mwatiuza tawe muzati pasampata wonse. So anyway, moving forward, I think as a Pan-Africanist, first of all, constitution inafuna kuchita amendi nipe nayo na nchito ine pali ine. So because nipe nayo na nchito ine constitution yawe nzakamba nati awe time si amene. First of all, time nyaka ya nafuti indaka obanga ni trickery kind of, because next year kuliva everything gochitika pano pazamba tizi ya once. So maybe wafuna uchita apa hivi na bamene vizafuni gochitika next year civizankala affected or branch. Unless ngawaza choose tawo sizankala affected kapena kulwena ngawagamba tawo bazaifu not to want to explain because it's
worried. When is the right time to amend the constitution according to you?
Pamba pera nangia sebona bakamba ise pakungena pachiyambi chatu, one of the things we want to do ni so and so wabora wavichaya. So people apakupakuti wabora kumwamba wabora 1 year 2 years nishiwantu wakali wakamba hapo 2.5 years bantu wakaliwa bashita melo maona kabashita digest information wabomba kuza pros and cons beza time yambili 5 years time yambili maningi but akabata we tizabichita futhi wabwera we tunakushita so futhi like I've already said in as a Pan-African nimeona mongati I constitution first of all imabwera be chila muntu amene abwera hapo afuna mbe kushita kuzivala chabe kuzivalika cheka bovala kuti vimsebenzele chabeveka kubena bakaba no, we are looking at the people, because at the end of the day futhi mkailangana bwino chani atu zikola atu we are capitalists and we are also under democratic leadership. Those two being put together, if we are being realistic, politicians will not save the people, not today, not tomorrow in a capitalist state. They will always save the money bag. So if we're going to be talking about capitalism and we're going to be talking about democratic states where they're telling us to say that no, you guys are part of the leadership, at the end of the day, that is not true, because the leaders in a capitalist state are the people who have the money. Which is also another thing this government has been promising from day one. Investor promise. Tinaye sofunsa hapo sasa Pan-Africanist. Okay, iso wantu wana wasibafuna. But tilangizeni pa never say that isontereni. So na sondepo olopamozi. Palipena mwana na bwerapo bezongo tsebeti investor promise. If it kangena mupawa dollar izaseluka kuchoka kabani pa 14, ikakuchoka pa 14 hours izaseluka ibrika pena ni kuma 10.
sinabyonako na muli lero unga unakwera because dola yawo inakwera. So if a sister understand very well wakamba kuti ise tasebenza so kusenza kwatu manje ndi petafika pano tifuna kuti mutitiament constitution mwasebenza pati pano mwafika pano first lanze ngo moshita kumbuyo kuti mufike apa Steve Yona ise so ngati vija Steve Yona ivi tilishwana po bwanji kuti na vewe zachita benefit ise tilishwa bwanji because our my investor no to investor promise bazabwera awo sure sio na poverty bonds muno mukantu mukalinjala abakamba tawo sikungalenjala. One of the weapons of oppression, especially in capitalist states, is hunger. Poverty, hunger, and bad education. I'm not talking about free education. The education in Zambia is very bad. As someone who's gone through the Zambian education system from time I was a baby until today, I can say that the education system in Zambia is bad. Because what does it teach us? It teaches us to worship colonizers. Who are the colonizers today? The people who are in political seats today are the colonizers of this nation today. They've taken up that because now they look like us, they talk like us, they sound like us, they live among us, but they're not us because they're there to serve their own purpose. They're there to serve themselves. So those have now become the colonizers today. Right. And this is a very constitution that they are using, like the oppressors used, to again oppress the masses. Right.
As we conclude, I want to push in another question as we move away from the constitutional amendment. There was a cyber security law which was enacted by the government recently, and we would want to find out from you as a member of the social media, or rather cyberspace, are you in support of the cyber security and crimes law which has been enacted within a minute?
I'm not in support because obviously that is gagging people. Again, when you gag people, those are weapons of oppressors. Because if you're not scared of what people have to say about you, and you're doing as according, you're fulfilling your promises according to the people, you will not have that issue. You will not want to poke into people's private business to say, oh, you know what? Let me see what so and so are talking about. Because let's be honest, they're talking about, oh, wanna combat bullies, wanna combat this is why I want to spy with you. But that's not true. We've heard with Americans, they talk about it every day. They talk about how their own government told them to say, no, we want to spy on your phones because of 9/11. But many of them have come out to say that wasn't true. It wasn't just because of 9/11. There are other things that these guys are doing with our phones. Now, even us, we're following in those same footsteps again. So it's like these people, as the politicians of these democratic states and these capitalist states, all they are there to do is to save themselves. So if now they poke into your phone and they find that, oh, you are talking against them, that will be when now your problem is going to come in. Otherwise, all these other minuscule things like that, they're just using them to hide the real agenda. They're saying, no, we want to combat bullies, we want to combat fraud, we want to combat this, we want to combat that.
Right.
How?
I want you to conclude on that.
How?
Right. Thank you so much, Madam Dorcas, the Pan-African activist. Let's hear from Comrade Wosiku. I'll come back to you and then I move to NAMS. The cyber security and crimes law, which has been enacted by the government, what is your reaction?
So my reaction on the cyber security law is that they want to invade in our privacy in the name of them safeguarding us or protecting us from crime creation or insults of some sort. But, you know, we need a free press so as to engage in uncovering real social political engagements. We need to study one another. We need to know what exists in order to increase the masses of the population's understanding of the world. But how do we confidently do it when we're being spied on? How do I confidently communicate with my comrade here who's a Pan-Africanist to speak about the dangers of the government that we have at hand today? Minus them, yeah, I'm actually happy that you're here. Minus them getting me arrested. Even right now as we speak, they're watching, of course. They've followed our phones, of course. They have tapped everything that we're speaking about. Who's guaranteed of safety after him? When we check out on the cyber crime bureau law or something like that.
Right.
We say no to it. And it is, yeah, we only know when we're arrested, actually. That's what I can say, because I know I'm guaranteed for arrest because of some certain words that I've used that will not sit well with the current government. Already my colleague on our panel is emotional for what we are saying. So it shows that even them out there, they are agitated to get us arrested for speaking against the wrongs that they are doing.
Right.
Examples, they're misrepresenting me.
Right, thank you so much, Wosiku, for that. Let's hear from Madam Nams from Tonse. The cyber security and crimes law, which was recently enacted by the government, what is your immediate reaction and what is the position of Tonse?
Well, obviously we do not agree with it, and as usual it was shrouded in dishonesty, and they seem to be a shadow move taken, because whilst we were all thinking it was still in Parliament, the Americans came and told us that actually it was enacted. Now, how do you blindside your own people like that? Because I thought it's rule of the people, by the people, for the people, and not just you as leaders. And what I remember is the UPND are quick to say the Patriotic Front did actually start this whole cyber and security acts. I remember there's a clip where the president, currently, that time was saying, Bamwankole has actually signed the document by now. But when I come, we're going to repeal it. Now, I don't know if the word repeal means make it stiffer, make it harder for the people to speak, because the word repeal means you remove what you believe is gagging the people. He said we had freedoms. He used social media to get into power, and then he goes and shuts down the very door that brought him in. It shows dishonesty and lack of credibility. I maintain the UPND as a party seems to love hovering around the issue of dishonesty, lying to people.
But it also shows a man that is willing to guard his own ideologies, which is something we must also commend him for. You will not leave the door open for your enemies. So we will commend him that, because if you are in this game, people always say that politics is a game. And us as Pan-Africanists, what we believe is our ideology follows the Jesus effect. So the Jesus effect tells us to say that you will die at the end of the day for your ideas. That is a given. You will die, you will be crucified for your ideas at the end of the day. So it is, I think, also it is very childish and foolish of us as Zambians to think, no, he shouldn't do it.
Could you just use another word apart from childish and foolish?
I mean, I think as Zambians, we should be maybe also being misguided, I would say, to think he should leave the door open. If you're in this game to stay, he should close that gate. I mean, we are opposing.
Those assertions, I'm actually a Pan-African, but I'm not an anarchist. Neither am I a demigod worshipper. You see, if someone's going to be brutal to guard others, then you don't have a safe environment. Even our African culture taught that the elders needed to go and counsel the king. You cannot become so strong-handed and iron-fisted and expect the civilization to flourish. It never flourishes. So there's nothing to comment. There is nothing to comment about President Hakainde Hichilema coming and closing the doors that allowed him to ascend to power. You need to respect the rule of the game of democracy in Zambia. For now, we are Democrats. I can be a Pan-African. I am a Pan-Africanist, but I'm operating within what Zambia allows me. And what Zambia allows me is to be a Democrat, right? And so, as in a democracy, I don't expect you to come and gag your friends. In a democracy, everyone has the right to speak and to come to the governance table. You don't become a big brother, or should I say a god? Because God is even better.
I don't agree with you.
Just hold on there. I'll come back to you, Dorcas. Don't worry.
God is able to give us the ability.
I'll be coming to you, Wosiku. Yeah.
Okay. God gives us the ability to flourish as individuals. God does not say, Namaka, don't sin, I'll kill you. No, He lets me live my life. If I'm going to end up in hell, that's my choice. So President Hakainde should never be recommended for having an iron fist. There's a difference between doing what is right for the people. If he had done what he is saying, for instance, in line with what we are talking about in the Cyber Security Act, whilst in opposition, he using his own mouth and his own brain say that the people must be allowed to speak freely, because that engagement is what promotes democracy. What has changed? What has changed? Was he lying to us then to win? Was he using deception? Now, fine, you say people should use whatever means because it's a struggle. Now, but if you use deception to get anywhere, can we trust you in anything? No. It means the whole thing
That is why I say
it's all a lie.
That I don't trust any of you politicians.
Now,
so, also
allow NAMS to conclude.
Can I conclude?
Conclude, please.
Yeah. We, as Tonse, believe in unity. I personally am a vehement supporter of ECL coming back. And the reason I say this is because when I look at Zambia today, we are highly polarized and we need to unite. The UPND-PF fight has kind of like grown into areas that now are even trending in tribalism and all those things. And we need not to bury our heads in the sand. We need to acknowledge that we need to be united. That's why you've heard the Socialist Party speaking about a united opposition. You have heard Honorable Nagachinda speaking about a united opposition, because we have come to realize that there is a need for us to come together. And remember Ubuntu. I am because you are, and you are because of me. That's a true African status. We are Pan-Africanism about Ubuntu. I am because you are. Just because she's UPN, she doesn't have to see me as a demon. And just because she's UPN, I should not see her as a demon. Right. She is my sister first. She is my fellow Zambian. And we must learn to love each other. So we need to go back to the drawing board as a united team and do what she was saying. Because when we go in there as united with one leader, ECL, what will happen is that SP, PF, whatever other parties, they are all going to say, can we make sure we have a document that does not favor anybody? You only want ECL to come back because you will benefit from him like you did before. Even before, as someone who was a neutral member of the politics of the politic environment, I could tell, like, we can see this, that all the political parties, you were still with PF at the end of the day, and UPND was standing at that corner by themselves being fought. Now that they're in power, it's still continuing. They're going to say, no, this is when now we are uniting ourselves so that. No, even before you were united, you people, you were eating together. It is not the PF who were eating alone. You were eating together. You were only refusing them just they're like, the PF, but you were eating together. And this is why now, because now they're in your position, it is very easy for you to come out and say, oh, we want to unite with them. But initially, even in the beginning, you were together.
All right, thank you so much. Nams, as you conclude, quickly, I'll give you a few seconds as you conclude. I'm coming to you, Madam Tembo. You've insisted that you want ECL to come back. In what form will ECL come back? Because the records I have here is that ECL has been disqualified by the courts.
The Constitutional Court has created a preference on itself, in that ECL was declared eligible by the same court, and the same court came back and changed its mind. When you do that, you know what you do? You create a banana court, because now that same Constitutional Court must go back and revise it, because we the people want ECL. Look, it's not the Constitutional Court to say we don't want. The people of Zambia will say we don't want him. If we, a section, say we want someone,
but the people of Zambia say they don't want him in 2021.
Just hold on.
The people of Zambia say they don't want him in 2021.
You are coming to speak. You are coming to speak. So don't relate that to come in. You are coming to speak. Conclude, Madam Namakau.
So we as a people, when a section of people want something, it's their right to be given what they want.
Right.
And you go to an election. That's why we have democracy. Your right not to vote for ECL must be maintained. Don't vote for him. But don't stop me from my right to vote for ECL. That's what democracy entails. And
that was
and all we are asking is that, no. Democracy is a race, my dear. We keep running. Just because you
excuse me, hold on. You only speak if I allow you. Sorry. Yeah. Madam Tembo, I'm coming to you. You are the next speaker. Okay, so hold on your fire. Please conclude, Madam Nams.
So we need to understand what democracy is. And democracy is allowing the people to choose who they want. And the party, because before even the Constitutional Court, the UPND was busy saying, we will not allow him, we will not allow. So already it was their personal agenda. And that's why we're trying to unite as opposition. Even them, the ones who have opened their minds up, are free to come and join this alliance, because it's not about one political party. We're saying, let's come together and reason together. We are smart and intelligent as Zambians.
Right.
There's no we can continue acting like we are toys or babies. Let's come to the table and unite and begin afresh. Okay, are you telling me you haven't seen that there's an ability in us all to come together and reason and chatter forward in a different way? The guys who beat me up, if they said sorry to me, I should be able to say, fine, guys.
Thank you so much.
Let's change.
Thank you so much, Madam Nams. Madam Tembo, your take over the cyber security and crimes law, which has been enacted, and also consider the views and the rage coming from your colleagues here.
Okay, for me, I welcome the cyber security law.
Right.
I'll call it the cyber and security. Okay, because as UPND government, we separated the two.
Yeah.
Okay, the cyber security and the cyber crimes. Okay, crime laws. Okay, then I will agree with him. We did not agree with it. Why? Because the two are mixed. Cyber security and cyber law were under one umbrella. But under the UPND government, we've separated the two. Cyber security on its own, that is there to protect data, to protect individual privacy.
Right.
Okay, the cyber crimes are there to take into account the criminality in the cyberspace.
Right.
Okay, that's the separation we've done, and that is what we never agreed with. Combining the two under one umbrella, because there are two different aspects. Okay, cyber security, protecting. Cyber crime laws also to take into account those that are violating laws.
Right.
Okay, in the cyberspace. Okay, then the country was when you look at it, 2016, 2017, 18.
Yeah.
Okay, the way we are using the technology space was different from the way we're using it back then. Okay, back then there was order, but as the world is advancing, even the use of technology is also advancing. And what happened? People started violating or using social media. I'll tell you, 2021 elections was won. We won through social media. The social media played a very pivotal role. Okay? But after then, even
which according to your colleagues, they are saying you are gagging them now. Your government is here to muzzle their opinions.
And that is what I'm here to explain.
Right.
Okay? So as the world is advancing, technology is advancing, people now are misusing social media. Okay? As a young person coming from a cultured home, okay, a cultured background, cultured political party, I do not support the misuse of social media. Okay? Insulting elders. Okay? Bullying others. I'll give you an example.
Right.
There was a time when, actually it's something that is recent. Okay? Kidist, the wife to our famous CEO Maps, was bullied on social media, was harassed. What did she do? She reported, okay? And now the law came in, okay? And disregarded such kind of act. And the Elias Musha was arrested for, I'm sorry to use that term, it's not Elias Musha, it's because of the, likes of the names. Yeah, Elias was arrested. Okamusiani was arrested, because he misused. So how would you feel as a woman? You are a victim of cyberbullying, and then somebody is just let free. So I'm thinking, as young people, we should be there to support that. Social media, of course, is for entertainment, not for bullying, not for misuse. Because if you are a cultured person, quite alright, we are here, they are speaking, okay? She is speaking her mind, she's expressing her mind, okay? Has she ever been arrested? No. So what do we have to do? Is to do the right thing. If you are a cultured person and you have to do you know that you have to do the right thing, then you do not have to go the extreme way. I mean, extremes mouse.
Okay.
So that you should be termed as one who is a victim.
Just hold on there. Just hold on.
But I haven't finished my 2 minutes.
I'm not asking you to conclude. I'm not going to stop you. I'm seeing two hands already here. I will allow Madam Wusiko to quickly ask your question or your comment in 15 seconds or 30 seconds if you can. Then I'll ask Madam Nams to also come in. Then I will throw it back to the speaker.
All right. First and foremost, I'll say we're a democratic nation, hence we promote transparency. She's a Pan-Africanist, and Pan-Africanism has some logs that it follows: active participation, collective decision-making, transparency, and a lot more. Why do I know those? Because I'm a proud socialist who also believes in Pan-Africanism. Now, a question goes to my colleague from the UPND. So since they've put this bill to act now, do we forgive and forget the Kumanyoko words that were spoken by the president, who's current president now? Or we should also come in and bring those clips where the UPND...
What does that word mean?
We also don't know up to now.
But how do you
what's your defense?
It's a term that we people rendered or tended to say it's an insult, because something that I should not be addressed as, I should not, it means it does not, it exists to him, but to me to turn out to be an
Did he tell you it exists as
So
an
if you don't
insult?
understand
So
the,
now,
if you don't know the definition, you can't use it on
clarify
air.
for us.
Yeah.
Because those are the words that they used in the previous
Right.
time.
Right.
Actually, yeah, towards them getting into power. So why should it be now that the cyber rule, the cyber law, the cyber what should be enacted?
Right.
Why now?
Thank you so much. The question is why now? Allow Madam Nams to also chip in. Then I will come back to you. I'll compensate your time.
She's saying that in the past 4 years, there's been so much advancement in technology that people are starting misusing it. The UPND throughout ECL's last term of 5 years disrespected and insulted him. But ECL, like a true leader, you understand that people can insult you when you're in leadership. You swallow it, but you keep your eyes focused on the ball. The problem is the president today is, I almost said immature, but maybe I don't mean to say that. I should say what? He's too sensitive to hear what people are saying. I was taught as a young person that if you want to go far, don't listen to what people are saying all the time, because you get distracted and you won't reach where you're going. The UPND was the most insulting political party. I have been called Wule so many times that I don't even know. At this point, it's okay. Because each time the UPND will come on your block, they want to insult you, to disrespect you. And they don't get anything charged on them. Bruce Kanema, my brother on the Kaonde side, is on record disrespecting and insulting Isia. What happened to him? Nothing. So I want to put it on record that we have videos, I'm sure you could even have those videos, where UPND cadres are insulting women, saying, big insults. My whole body froze. I'm like, seriously, you go and capture yourself insulting. They were UPND cadres. Nothing happened to them.
Right.
You misuse on social media, nothing happens to you.
Political parties.
Only others are wrong. So please don't insult our intelligence to say there's so much.
Thank you so much, Nams. I will compensate your time. Please, I can proceed.
There's also a question before she proceeds.
I thought you already asked your question. Was I starting with you?
It's an additional question.
But if you give her too many questions, she'll not answer.
No, she will answer.
Let her go ahead and also repeat the previous question.
Should the cyber law work only on oppressing the opposition political parties,
right,
or opposition political leaders? We've got a lot of political leaders that are incarcerated now. We have two that were incarcerated recently, that is the Lumezi and the Mufue leader.
Right.
Yeah. So should it only work on them now?
Right. Thank you so much, Madam.
What was the first question first? Let me get the first question.
Don't forget about the first question, because it says I will be misquoted on the Kumanyoko word.
Yes, please. So attend to the last question and also Madam Namakawa's question. Proceed.
Should the cyber law only be applied to the opposition? The answer is no.
So why aren't they arresting the people that were insulted?
Allow her to answer now. You've already asked a question.
You know,
please proceed.
First of all, Mr. Moderator, it's so disheartening. Sometimes it's heartbreaking to see young people wasting the Queen's language to speak relevance. Okay? Brilliant English. Okay, good accent. But then, what message?
No one cares about the Queen's language.
She sounds like
Excuse me,
hold on,
this is
you
a
are
panel
disrupting her.
discussion.
I think
she's on the floor.
Okay?
No, she's on the floor.
I'm not applying
Racial error.
You say
Hold
you should
on.
apply discipline.
I'm not applying
Exactly.
They should
And this is really happening to all the people.
I'm not applying it to you.
So hold on.
You haven't heard
hold
what
on.
where
So
I'm
it's
going.
also a cyber crime.
So hold
that
on.
You can also sue somebody for.
Okay, so
What you will
I
not,
don't understand.
hold on, Madam Tembo, can we calm down?
Sure.
I will not allow any one of you to turn my show into a circus. This is a serious program. I would have invited people who could have done, better job maybe than myself and ourselves here. So let's ensure that we stick to the rules of the game. You are speaking to the country. You're not speaking to each one or with the issues you may have among yourselves. You're not even talking to me, but the people of Zambia. So can we remain calm?
Sure.
May you proceed?
Okay, so it's so disheartening that people are making submissions, okay? Not only here, there's another person ahead who's speaking about cybersecurity laws, okay? Expressing that it's not a good idea, okay? So, my question is, it's not a good idea in which context? Because people are still expressing themselves. Right now we're on a panel of debate, discussion. People are still expressing themselves. They are still saying this law is not good. Has anyone arrested them? The answer is no. Has then anyone stopped them? The answer is no. So, the cybersecurity law and cyber crime laws are there to protect us people who are here. Okay? One, protecting our own information, data. I'll tell you one example. Dating sites. Some time back, there were pen pals. Okay? People used to write to one another. I'm speaking this because, we all young people here, we had such kind of experiences. Pen pals, people used to write to each other. It would take weeks. It would take sometimes months. But now they are dating sites. I wouldn't believe one of our people here would disagree unless you have not experienced that. Some people are complaining of dating sites because they are being swindled. Crimes are committed. Recently, a number of some Chinese people were arrested. Why? Because they were scamming people online. And now cyber security comes in to say we need to sort out these issues so that our people, we can reduce, if not completely get done with online scams. Okay? Hence the introduction of cybersecurity.
Right.
Okay? With an independent agency to look after that fraternity. Okay? Also with an independent fraternity, enforcers to look at the cyber crimes laws.
Right.
Okay? So crimes come in where she was called a hule. And so unfortunately, I'm sorry that you were referred to as a hule. What did they see that they referred to you that like? It's sad. Okay? As a woman, you do not have to go through that. Alright? And so, when somebody refers you as a hule, that becomes a problem in cyber crimes law.
Right.
Especially, when it's online, even as an individual in person. So the cyber crimes law says no to such kind of activities. But if you are a law-abiding citizen, you know that you do not misconduct yourself. You are a disciplined person. You will express yourself. We've seen people expressing themselves.
Right.
Oppositions expressing themselves. Has anyone been arrested? No. Coming back to the issues of Munia Zulu, I will not call him honorable because where we call somebody honorable, there should be an act, a reflection of being a honorable for one to be reflected to be called a honorable. Munia Zulu misconducted himself. Okay, he found himself in issues as I don't know if I would say a young person by UN declaration, a treatise, I do not know. But as one we considered as our representation, representative in the parliament, he misconducted. He was sending misinformation. Can you imagine somebody saying that the president is about to dissolve parliament? Mr. Moderator, do you know what that means? Those are what I called positive conflicts.
Right.
Because that can cause conflict, can cause war in the country. We know what? We should appreciate the people of Zambia for accepting, for not ignoring such kind of sentiments. Because the people of Zambia have the right to rise, okay, and fight against the president that he wants to dissolve parliament. Dissolving parliament means there is no governance. There's no government.
Right.
Okay? And now that is what he said. Do you think such kind of an individual who wants to cause chaos, havoc in the country,
is that a question, Madam Nams? Hold on there. Hold on, Madam Tembo. Is that a question?
Yes.
May you please ask a question?
Honorable Munia Zulu is a proud son of the soil. He said that parliament is going to be dissolved. No more political discourse. Not different from President Hakainde who was in opposition saying, I receive intelligence before the president sitting receives it. Tell me which one is heavy. What Honorable Munia Zulu said meant nothing. I don't know. Who was bothered? Did you believe what he said? No. We just said, politics, che. Munia Zulu was not the spokesperson of government. So what he said was not alarming. It was just a statement which meant nothing. But President Hakainde as a sitting president stands on the podium and says, Apa, twalambe mingalato. Gawapi togu, twapi togu, twakamapa mukoshi. A president, you say that, you'll be strangling people, you'll be killing people. A president. And you want to tell me Honorable Munia Zulu is dishonorable? Are you sure? Someone who makes a statement which means nothing? And someone who actually is number one and is threatening to strangle us? Compare and contrast.
Thank you so much, Madam Nams. Please may conclude now. You can answer and conclude.
Okay. I want to get to understand that. Does my friend here understand the influence that Munia Zulu had? Does she understand what it means to be a member of parliament? That is why the constitution is even calling for young people to be members of parliament.
Understand what it means
Excuse
to be a president?
me, so that you understand what it means to be a member of parliament and be called honorable. Okay? Munia Zulu has influence. In Ilumezi, where he's coming from, the majority voted for him. Can you imagine if the majority of Lumezi stood up and said the president wants to dissolve parliament? That is why he's a public figure, my friend. Don't speak from a stomach, belly point of view. Let's speak reality.
Just hold on.
Excuse me,
I want you to
Mr. Moderator, let me explain this.
As you explain.
Okay, fine. I withdraw my statement.
Yes, and
but let
go
me
ahead.
say, I withdraw and I apologize.
Please go ahead.
Let us speak realities. Munia Zulu is a public figure, okay, just like any other public figure, and is a civic leader. When he speaks, some listen, okay, without even analyzing. Us here, maybe we can't analyze, but how about an ordinary Zambian? How about a person in Dibwe? How about a person in Sianyolo, where I come from, in Siavonga? Are they going to understand? No. Okay, so as leaders, we are all aspiring to be leaders, if we're not leaders already. Okay, we should be able to sieve what we say to the public. That is a counsel of giving. Okay, you can't say the president will dissolve parliament. Do you know what that means? Cause conflicts.
Right.
Okay, there are also other people that have been arrested based on
Madam Tembo.
Based on tribal remarks.
Right. Just hold on, Madam Tembo. It's like
and
there's a lot.
Said the people of Rapula have poverty mind. Where is he? The one who called the Catholic priest Lucifer. Where is he?
It appears there's a lot on the table. Madam Wosiku, you can ask. Is that a question?
Yes.
Can you ask a question? I want the speaker to conclude. Okay, I will compensate your time, Madam Tembo. Don't worry.
My colleague over here, I actually love the fact that she stated that the people of Zambia are disciplined not to cause violence. Why then did they arrest Munia Zulu?
Right.
If she feels we are confident enough that we cannot cause violence despite what they say. Right. That's the first question that I have. I also repeat what my colleague here has said. His Excellency, Comrade H.H., the Republican president of Zambia, has a huge following compared to Munia Zulu. He said, we're playing the Mingalato, you run from here, you run there, to Afrikata Pamukoshi. I'm not good in Bemba. Why did they bring that issue now that they've brought the cyber law? Thank
you so much. I want the speaker now to conclude, and then from there, I'll give a minute to each one of you to give your closing remarks, but I'll start with Comrade Dorcas from there, then I will end with you again. But conclude on this aspect.
Okay, I did not say, I do not see where the president said it were Pitauku, Bakukata Bamkoshi. I did not see that.
Right.
And if it happens, then it's not of my knowledge. Okay, but now we're talking about someone being arrested because of seditious acts, practice, okay, which is okay, we can't say because this is a honorable, this is a young person should not be arrested because of uttering words or statements that can cause havoc in the country.
Right.
Then they should be protected because they belong to a position, political party. It's not going to happen like that.
All right, thank you so much. I'm still coming back to you once again to the viewers that are watching the program via our DSTV channel 279, GoTV channel 27, and Topside Decoder channel 102, as well as our social media platforms. That's our Facebook page and YouTube. We are in the dying minutes of the program, the Big Hour Debate, right here on KBN TV. I have in the studio Comrade Dorcas, who is a Pan-African activist, and also we've got Madam Susan Tembo representing the UPND from the media team. We've got Madam Namakao Nams representing the Tonse Alliance, and indeed next to me I have Madam Wusiku, Comrade Wusiku, representing the Socialist Party. We'll give each one of you a minute as we conclude the program. Comrade Dorcas, I know that we've got by-elections coming up shortly in various parts of the country at parliamentary and also ward by-elections. What is could be your take, and also what kind of a Zambia would you want to see in the next future from now as we go?
Okay, so again, like I said earlier, these are my remarks that I am going to repeat. That in a party, as a Pan-African, once banyo machita and politicians are mwana mgani game chiga matide ini. So sima yako na nzeri yambo kamba kuti because all komne ko kamba fun kala by elections yao ya mene ayo. Uyo muntu amene banachosa hapo, wafuna bantu amene wafuna kuchosa hapo. Beza kusebenza branch ife kulisa ba Pan-Africanist binatandize. So bakusine ndo kuvikonkerera na uyu muntu amene bafuna kuti bambe kuvota na futi. Ili naona munga chabe like sivimandaza kuntandiza because at the end of the day, in the leaders that I pay attention to are leaders that are speaking for change for the people. Wamene tiyo na munjira yao mwamene basebenza bakambula kamba kuti ine funa kusebenzera abantu na vinensitira abantu ni hivi na hivi na hivi. They tumafuna kumvera. So pali, with the by-elections, they are according to the law. People should play it safe. People they shouldn't be violent also, even though I'm not participating in the kusankale kuti bwambo menyana never people that pay up ndambo namiza na kwanacha na mapanga awe as my politicians is game yabo iliko but wasambe bo menyana kusankale mandeo wasambe ko rigging akuti my elections,
right?
Batandizane che buno wasambe bo rigging my election because futhi baka rigging ningarama futhi zinango zamene futhi wasamba futhi kamba iya tingala by elections futhi yenango futhi next year kuli futhi yenango my election ingana monga kwemira bana ngena in fact in 2021 yalapakisa by election kuponga kuti at the end of the day yambodeka monga manje timankala titachindawa kuma election uyo muntu oyotosa ali be second wake all of the branch that you are like those kind of things is what I because even when I zoned out was when there was that time of the death of Sata. This is when I was like, oh my god, in Zambia we play games. There was already a vice president. Then they were like, no, since he has died, we need to do again elections. But tunaanza tuko Tanzania wanachebea uyu muntu hapa tent pitilizi. Sana sewesana ndarama tunashitena branch. But if it chebe nayo no. Kulibalo interim sure like our president we already voted for him. We could have kulibako position meeting kuti even since our president we already voted for him, we can trust him like okay, since next year will my elections.
izindalama tiziwa ku next year titoko interim waminanga bore kubeko interim waminanga standing between now and next year ine ndibe simatangira sense because shone kamunga chita muntu afuna bekuudi achabe kuudi abe defa organizer so you know with the by elections all I will say is guys please with your parties with your people that you are with in your parties please play it safe not vamba kumenyana don't be emotional not vamba kushitana mapanga wambongenana na manyumba mushite bwanji iyai Zambia is democratic state once mnamvira na kudela mnamvese sana kuti we're democratic state so let's have peace kuma elections kwatu let's have order let's not rig these elections so that once the person is voted in we all move forward not again we start taking stances because ngamba iyai utamutwana na votela so amene tifuna chite bwanji yenango ali incompetent ali bwanji let's have free and fair elections right let's participate in the free and fair elections that as a democratic state of Zambia we all agreed to and said since we're all living under like my colleague said that as a country where you're living as a person who is in that country you need to follow so ngatilomperana is better basambe boshtashandeo kunkale peace bashitebe fast babotingane tipitirize non futi kunkale na enango
right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Madam Wosiku, coming from the Socialist Party. As you face into the camera, what is your closing remarks in line with the by-elections that are yet to be held? And also, what kind of a Zambia do you envisage to have or to see in the next future?
A Zambia that I want, a Zambia that we wish for as a community, or a Zambia that my people where I come from wish for, is a peaceful country. Of course, we know it's not adamant peace, but there can always be peace. And heading to the elections, the by-elections that are at hand, we're going flat out supporting our comrade from the Tonse Alliance, and we wish him the best. We're also saying no to the violence that is happening out there, and we call for peace, we call for just and fair elections. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Comrade Wosiku. Let me call upon Madam Namakao Nams from the Tonse Alliance. What is your take over the ongoing campaigns or by-elections, as well as what kind of a Zambia do you want to see in the next future?
No to the constitutional amendment, and for the by-elections we speak peace, we speak understanding that leadership is the people that give it to you. You don't force it, you don't take it by force. Allow people to vote for who they want to, and as an opposition choosing to be united, okay, at least for those who are still united, we have resolved we will follow peace.
Right.
However, I don't think anyone will sit and wait to be hammered like I was hammered in Kawambwa. I think it's important that we don't allow anyone to beat us up like babies. But what we want is peace, and we inform the UPND that please respect our boundaries, we'll respect your boundaries. Let's allow the people of Lumezi to choose who they want. What we need is a peaceful Zambia, a truly peaceful Zambia. Of course, there'll be differences. We may not agree on all things, but we must be united as a people. The tribalistic terms I've been hearing from the ruling, even from the opposition, sadly, I want to say, can we all cease fire? Look, none of us chose to be born. I didn't choose to be Lozi Kaonde. I just got born and they told me you're Lozi Kaonde. You can't be proud of it because you didn't do anything to get it. And you can't feel bad about it because you didn't do anything to get it. It is what it is. So let's remember to respect each other. In the end, we are one people. We are first Zambians. I am because you are, and you are because of me. Opportunities to rule is a chance given by God. If He gives even one term, thank Him, because so many others don't even get that chance. Let's respect each other. Let's love each other. Let's forgive each other. Let's forge ahead as one people. Tilitonsi.
Thank you so much. Madam Tembo, from the ruling party, as a young leader, what kind of a Zambia, or where are you talking Zambia so far as the UPND? And what is your take over the ongoing by-elections or campaigns in Lumezi as well as other parts of the country?
Okay, my take on the by-elections that are ongoing in Lumezi and any other part of the country which are local government is that let us do a peace campaign. Okay, Zambians, of course, are the ones that choose leadership. Yeah, based on what they see, based on the deeds of the government. Okay, so let us be peaceful in the way we conduct ourselves. As UPND, we are a peaceful political party, and we call upon even others that believe in peace to also take part, okay, to also practice the same, okay. People are the ones that choose leaders. It is not a political party or individuals. It's them, the individuals, people on the grassroots that choose leadership. So I call upon Zambians to do justice through votes, ballots. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, Madam Tembo. We appreciate you as well for your closing remarks. Ladies, permit me to thank all of you. Madam Susan Tembo from the UPND. Of course, we don't take you for granted. Madam Nams Namakau, we also value your contribution as well as your presence on this program, The Big Hour Debate. We don't take you for granted. We hope to see you soon. Madam Wusiko as well, we appreciate you and your contribution to the affairs of the nation. Comrade Dorcas as well, we don't take you for granted. We hope to continue meeting you in such a fora. And I should thank all of you for now being so humble. You are being nice to each other. I love the fact you are being nice. Maybe you can shake hands. There's no harm.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, you can shake hands.
We're women at the end of the day. Yeah. We can be rank, but we always get back together.
All right, thank you so much. Allow me to thank all of you that have been watching the program, The Big Hour Debate, today on Wednesday. Again, we're back next week with another episode. Thank you so much. This has been IP. May God bless Zambia. May God bless Mother Africa. Good night.